what is Swagger, how we can integrate this Swagger tool with Spring Boot application. Before understanding the integration of this Swagger into Spring Boot application, let's understand what is this Swagger, why we need this. We all know that any APIs we are developing by using Spring Boot and REST, those APIs, why you are developing? Either your API will use someone else, I mean third party, otherwise your API will use internally. In your applications, if you will call a API, so you need to pass the required parameters and what is the request body, all this information. How you will know that? Even you develop some backend API and you wanted to pass those API to use UI developer, UI teams, they will use your API. So for them, your API is new, right? How they will know the payload detail about your APIs? What about your APIs and what inputs you are providing? All this documentation. It is a like all the informations. What would be the body of the APIs? So all these informations you can provide to UI developer or even any third party applications, or you can expose your APIs to outside world by using this Swagger tool. So it will be a very good tool. You can use it, okay, so that anyone can understand about, you can describe about your API by using this Swagger tool, okay. So I will explain what is this. Let me show you one demo example here. So for example, here we are having a applications, okay. It's a simple application, okay. It's a REST application with Spring Boot. You can refer my previous videos for these applications. So it's a sample application, and if you'll see in these applications, we are having some controller, okay, and we are having some model class and repository, okay. So if you'll see in this employee controller, we are having all these methods. So we can add a employee, we can delete a employee, we can see a employee. So add, update, delete, all these operations you can create. All these operations we are doing. It's a CRUD application, we can say. It's a employee applications, okay. I will run and I will show you, okay. I will right click of this application. I will run as Spring Boot application. You see the applications running with this port. You will see the port number is 8082. Explicitly I have defined here, okay. So I am using this MongoDB. In MongoDB, you see there is a table called employee, and these informations, whatever records are there, okay, these informations I am just trying to see. You can add a employee, or you can delete a employee, or you can fetch all employees. All these things you can do, okay. It's a sample applications, okay. So we have run this application by using 8082. So if we wanted to access this application, so you can do like this. You will say https localhost 8082. Otherwise you can use this postman here. You can hit like this 8082 API and all employee. If you'll see, it is giving all the employees, right? Because API is the path and all employee is the path to fetch all the employees. If you'll see, let me close all the tabs. You see, you're able to see, right? If you'll see this application, API I have given the path, okay. And if you wanted to see all employee, so it will find all employee all employee, all emp is the path. So API hyphen all, API / all employee. This is the path, right? And this is the port. You used to see this. So in this postman also you can see, even we can, if you wanted to add a employee, you can add employee like this. You can change the port number and you can provide the details. Suppose you here, you see, I will say 82 and I will come here body. I will add a employee. I will say 107 and I will say Kiran something and I will say XYZ, and it will send one employee created successfully. And if we hit this get, that employee 107 added. You see here also you can see it's simple. So you can add an employee and you can see an employee, you can delete all these operations. It's a sample operations. Okay, so in this, it's a sample applications. Okay, in this application what I will do, I will add Swagger dependency. Okay, so it's a simple only. Swagger, I told you, right? It's a tool which we can document all the APIs. So here we are having, we can say this is one API. Okay, this is one API and this is one API, right? So like this we are having APIs. Okay, so what is the input of for these APIs, right? This is the body and this is the parameter, all these things. So how we will provide a documentation, UI kind of things. So for that we are using Swagger, and Swagger can be used in two ways. We can integrate Swagger in Spring Boot application in two ways. There is a library called Spring Fox. You can use that. Otherwise you can use Open API specifications. Okay, so two ways we can use. One is Spring Fox, another one is Open API specifications. Okay, so which one is better? You can use Open API specification is the latest one. Okay, so you see why Spring Fox is, I'm just comparing here what is the difference between Spring Fox and Open API specifications. Actually Spring Fox is supporting Spring 2 and Spring 3, but Open API specification, it's latest one, so only supporting Spring 3, not supporting Spring 2. So those projects already developed by using Spring 2, we cannot use Open API specifications, we have to use Spring Fox. Okay, and performance wise you will see Spring Fox is lower, it's less performance, and Open API is latest, so it is good performance. Okay, so the active development, like latestly any project you will use Open API specifications. Okay, so I will show you the example by using open specifications. So in this applications, to add Swagger, what you will do, you will add one dependency. Okay, so you go to Google, here you will type something like Open API specification Swagger tool, something like Swagger Spring Boot, something you will search, right? If you go spring.org official website, if you go something like that, they have given some steps. You see here they have written, you just add this dependency. Okay, you see this is the starter dependency, you add this dependency. Okay, just copy this dependency. You can copy paste the code, but you need to understand why we are doing and what it is actually. So in this pom.xml, I am having so many dependency, MongoDB, Web, Lombok, all these things. Okay, so here I will add one more dependency. I will come here and I will add, I will format it. Okay, this dependency I will add. So now what I will do, I will stop and I will start. Okay, if you add this dependency and if you stop and start, if you add a dev tools, okay, no need to stop and start, automatically it will be add. You see it is trying to take a new port, means that is the default port 8080. Here let me give 8085 something. It is trying to load that way. Let me restart one more times. So now our application will start by using port number 8085. Okay, now you see, if we'll hit, if we'll come here, if we'll hit 8082, it will not accessible, right? Because we have run in 8085. So you see, it is running. Now I have added that Swagger tool, right? What I did, I have added that dependency. How to access those UI? You will write like this. You take this APIs, sorry, you take this localhost 8085, okay, up to this, then type Swagger hyphen, you type Swagger hyphen UI index dot html. This is the default URL, swagger hyphen UI index dot html. Okay, you see, now your employee controller, and what are the APIs you have? Put, post, get. Okay, get to one is one employee if you want to get, otherwise you wanted to get all employee, like fetch all the employees, or delete. You see, if we'll click here, right, all the information is giving. Even you are trying, if we'll try to hit it, right, if we'll try and execute, if we'll execute, it will give you the result. Here is how it's simple. It's showing result code, many more things it is showing. What is the parameter, all these things. In even post, you can see all these things. Okay, all the format, you can decide what are the input parameters, so anyone can see, means he can understand. Even there is another space, means you can see in other ways, like we can say v3 API doc something. If we'll say API hyphen doc, I forgot the URL, something like this, API doc. Yes, you see, like this, you see 8085, and here if we'll say v3, here all the API related, all the information like this it is showing. Okay, so this API, means this URL and this Swagger URL, it is possible because you added that dependency, that starter dependency. Just now I told, right, this dependency you just add. Okay, and you see, if you add this dependency, and you are able to access your application like this, and each things you can modify here. You can add few more things. For example, here it's showing open API specifications. Okay, open API definitions. Okay, so this is actually open API specifications we added. So instead of showing this, you wanted to see something like related to your applications, right? How you will do? And here you see one server 8085, you can add few more server also. You can, here it's showing employee controller, so one by one, if you wanted to change something, so you have to write some codes here. Okay, you see here some, all the entities also showing. You are having one entity, that is employee. Okay, all the APIs entity related, like he is documenting very well. You can add few more details, you can customize as per your requirement, so that anyone, any third party vendor or any other person, UI developer, can see your application. He can understand what are the APIs are there, what API, what it is doing, all these things. Okay, let's change. I will write some small code for you, okay, to make you understand, and you can research more and you can utilize these things in your project work. Okay, so how to change all these things? So you need to write some code. Okay, so you see, in this application, if you come here, right, so we are having controller, model, repository, right? Like this, I will create one more class. So before that, let me create a package accordingly. I will say com dot Naren dot Java dot demo. Okay, here I will define one more package config. Any name you can give as per your comfort. Okay, to create these sample applications, I will provide you the link. Already I have uploaded this Spring Boot sample applications. Okay, so I am not repeating, I am just here explaining how we can add this Swagger in this Spring Boot application, how we can integrate this Swagger tool. Okay, so here I will create a class. I can say like Swagger, any name you can give, Swagger config. Okay, something like that. And here you need to write some code. Why you are writing the code? Because you wanted to customize these things. Here I wanted to change this and other things I wanted to do. Let me change these things first. Okay, so I define a class here, config class, and there is a annotation called config. Okay, you just understand, no need to remember the code. You can copy paste the code from the Google or anywhere. So this configuration class, so I have annotated its config. So as I told, it's a open API, right? It's a open API, and sorry, it's open API, and I will define a method called my custom, any name you can give, my custom config, something like that I will give. And here I wanted to change this. This is a title actually. So I will say return, and it will return a new open API. Okay, so I will say info, new info. Okay, dot title dot something like this. So here you can provide some title like this is my employee, something employee app, some titles I given. Okay, so like this you can add a few more code, whatever you want. So here you need to define, this is a bean actually. Okay, so if you'll add this line of code, okay, so you will able to change this title. Okay, here, so let me restart the applications. Okay, application is restarted successfully with the same port 8085, and come here and just refresh this. You see, this is my employee app. Even as I told you, you can add few more server. One server it is running 8085. You can add few more server here. You see, instead of employee controller, I will mention like what this controller is belongs to, like what are the things it is doing. I will say like something. Here I will come here in the application. You come to this controller class. Okay, here you add one more annotation called tag. Okay, and in this tag you will add like name equal to, I will say this is the employee API, something employee user API, something I will say user API. Okay, and I can provide some description as well. Description, what it is doing, this is the add, update, delete users, something like that I will provide. So just restart it. Here if you refresh, instead of employee controller it will show like this. You see, let me refresh it. You see how it is. So that means instead of employee controller we can say user APIs. So what it is doing, or employee APIs, whatever you want you can. So you can document like this. Okay, even you can customize your parameter name, whatever you want. You can provide some note here what this employee ID is, all these things you can do. So this is like what you wanted to do, the matter of code only. You can search in Google what you wanted to do. take some sample code and change in your project and try to do it. Okay, but the important things is you need to understand what is this Swagger tool, why we need this, what is the latest one, and why we will not use Spring Fox. uh, what is this open API specification? Open API means, open means it's like open source. Okay, specification means like its format or detailed explanations, that is specifications. Anyway, that is the only term only you can understand. Okay, so you need to understand all this flow, like why we need this and what are the code we need at the basic things to make setup. If that much knowledge you have, then you can able to implement it, and further what we need as per your project requirement, you can slowly get the code, you can copy paste and you can play around. It will be possible. Okay, so if you really like these videos, and if you have any doubt on this, please let me know in a comment section, and I will respond it. Okay, so please like and please subscribe if you are new to the channel. It will be motivate me to create some more videos for you, and you will get more such videos in this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, we'll meet in new session.